Welcome to the Offshore Club's fun-filled, fact-filled, fast-paced, blockbuster podcast, Coffee with Carib Carter, coming to you exclusively from where the sun never sets on the good life at a great price. And now, fill up your favorite coffee mug and join your expert and your guide, Carib Carter Clues.
Hello, and welcome to Coffee with Carib Carter. Let me get my mug here, my trusty mug. Episode 33. It's good to be with you again. And let me start out by reminding you that kind of ancillary to Coffee with Carib Carter, every day I do a Carib Carter Minute on Facebook, Rumble, and LinkedIn, okay? I do at least one a day, sometimes two, so make sure you follow those and let me know what you think and let me know what you want me to talk about. They usually run 3 or 4 minutes. Today I did one kind of, saying, folks, you need to make a choice. You can either live under a country where you have a lie-a-day government, which is where we are now, and that's not political, folks. Watch the post. Go to the Carib Carter Facebook, and you'll see the post. Or you can live free in countries all over Latin America. Here's the difference: the lie-a-day. If you don't think we're being lied to, I gave an example. It kind of is so symbolic of Kamala Harris, the vice president, goes before a group of elementary school children. I'm using quotes here, okay? And enthuses like hysterically about space travel. Oh my gosh, what's happening in space and the astronauts and all that. And it was like, you're watching, you're thinking to yourself, excuse me, but we've been going into space for 60 years. A lot of us are not quite that Google-eyed about it anymore. And then we find out, remember I said a lie-a-day government? The big lie for that was they weren't real students. They were with all their, oh, really? They were little actors, hired, stage props. Well, that's the American people are stage props to the lie-a-day government. Oh, there's no inflation there. Here I'm giving you the whole thing I just did on the Carib Carter Minute post. Check it out and check it out every day. Check it out every day. Let me know what you think. And, I'd like to get up to about 5 a day, and I'm going to try to. So give me your feedback to give me some guidance, okay? I'd appreciate it. And I think it's an important part of, the way we pull together. I have like in my inbox now over 200 messages from you all. And I try to answer everyone personally where there is a message, asking me about, how about if I move here? How safe is it here? What's the cost of living there? Every different country. Today I got one from somebody, a Carib Club, Offshore Club member, who wanted to know where would I recommend in Africa. And I'd write back and say, one day your Offshore Club will be in Africa, but right now we're not. But I said, let me do some research for you. And I found, the safest countries like Namibia, beautiful country, very, very safe. So one day we'll be there. But right now we're focusing on Central and Latin America. And again, when you write to me, I answer everyone because I think it's important. I really want you to make your move to where, as I said earlier, and in my Carib Carter Minute today, you can live free. What I pointed out was, look, the governments of these countries they're not nanny state governments. They're not going to have to lie to you because they're never going to tell you they're going to do everything for you. But I don't think you want them to do everything for you. Remember what, as I pointed out, Ronald Reagan said, the most frightening words in English language are, I'm from the government, I'm here to help you. Okay? So in those countries, you're not going to get that, but we don't need that. Okay? We don't need that. I often wonder, my wife and I have a place in West Virginia, and we drive some of these country roads, and I'll point out to her, see that house there, little house back in the woods, run down now the left. I said, that might be where Jed Clampett lived, right? You remember the Beverly Hillbillies, and I remember even as a kid thinking to myself, well, if Jed struck oil and poor Mountaineer merely kept his family fed till he hit bubbling up from the ground. You remember all the words. If he made all that money, instead of moving all the way across country to California, why didn't he just buy West Virginia? So we see these places, and the fact is, a lot of those people, and there are a lot of backwoods people still there, and they're freer. It's all about freedom, folks. You are capable. You wouldn't be watching Coffee with Carib Carter if you weren't a pretty strong, tough person, independent person. You're capable of doing whatever you want and making yourself whatever you want. Okay? Fulfilling your own personal dream in your life. And that's why I encourage you to do that every day. And that's what Coffee with Carib Carter is all about. That's what the Carib Carter Minutes are all about. And that's what your Offshore Club is all about. You're strong. You're independent. You can, honest to God, what you can if you believe and conceive, you can achieve. I know that sounds trite. I know that sounds trite, but it happens to be true. Okay? It happens to be true. So today we are going to continue to pursue that dream. And, you might even want to think of this. I'm going to do something unique today. Didn't do a lot of stuff we've done in the past. Something unique. I'm going to do kind of a country focus in this country.
Nicaragua is a beautiful town. You buy a hacienda for a few pesos down. You give it to the lady you are trying to win. But her papa doesn't let you come in. Managua, Nicaragua is a heavenly.
Managua, Nicaragua. Yeah, I'm going to focus today a little bit for you on Nicaragua because, I like Nicaragua. Let me give you a quick history lesson. Daniel Ortega is really, the president of Nicaragua. Our State Department hates him. But the fact of the matter is, because he's independent of our State Department and our CIA and everything else. But the fact of the matter is, he was a true revolutionary. Fidel Castro was not a revolutionary. He was a very wealthy guy who had his wealthy elite behind him to get rid of another wealthy elitist, Batista at the time. Okay. So it was really an elitist change of power there. Okay. Then the myth created, he's the bearded. No, the revolutionary was Daniel Ortega. Somoza family had ruled Nicaragua for generations and had stolen everything in sight. And Daniel Ortega and his muchachos, they came down after the Managua earthquake, and they really staged a revolution. Okay, a revolution, and that country now is a country where the crime is minuscule. He doesn't allow any drugs, okay, and the people are freer. The lifestyle. Well, we're going to go into take a look at it a little later. Okay, I think you're going to enjoy this. That focus. I think you're going to enjoy that focus. But first, I'm going to do something I haven't done in a while that we used to do every episode, and that's a day in the life. Okay, a day in the life.
Every day with you, girl, is sweeter than the day before. Every day I love you more and more, more and more and more. They say that all good things must come to an end, but girl, it isn't true. Each day with you, I fall in love again.
So there you go, the theme for a day in the life. And I got to admit to you, I'm old enough, so that's how I looked in the 70s. Okay, I had a young guy said to me years ago, like it was in the 90s, and he turned to me, a young guy, and said, "Did you all do anything right in the 70s?" He says, your hair was weird, your clothes were weird. That album cover kind of says it all, doesn't it? So, but at any rate, what I want to do for you is a day in the day in my life, and what it was when I flew. A lot of people said, "Well, what's it like? Where'd you fly into Honduras? What was the transportation?" So, I love show and tell. So I'm going to do that for you now. I probably flew back and forth back when I was living in Vista Bonita, and when I was traveling down there to when I first met my wife and all years ago, now almost 10 years ago now. And let me tell you what it was like, because it's still pretty much the same. Okay, if you're going to fly into there, these are some of the things you're going to experience. And you know what? Believe it or not, they're a little rustic, but you're going to enjoy them. Okay. I would fly in on Spirit Airlines, and they say, well, why Spirit? Well, because the flight, you can get a round trip ticket to somewhere like Nicaragua or Honduras or some of the other countries on Spirit for anywhere from as low as $300 up to $600 or so. That's incredible. Okay, round trip. Now you have to fly on the wing. No, I'm kidding. You don't have to fly on the wing, but there are no frills. But you don't need frills. You're sitting in an airplane. You know, an airplane seat's an airplane seat, and so I would fly in on Spirit Airlines, which meant I would arrive at this airport. Here we go. Show and tell. I love my show and tell. Aeropuerto de San Pedro Sula. Okay, that's where I would land. I would land there, and at 1 o'clock in the morning. Okay, 1 o'clock in the morning. Now let me be honest with you. There's very few cities anywhere in the world where I'm going to go out and get a taxi at 1 o'clock in the morning. Okay, and I would not do it in San Pedro Sula, which meant I had to sleep in the airport. Okay. This is actually a picture from the San Pedro Sula website. I think that's me sleeping in the airport there. They did a cartoon about it. But I actually, you know, in my case, I would most of the time sleep on the floor. Okay. And I'd sleep on the floor all night long, never bothered by anybody. There usually were a lot of people sleeping around me, to be honest with you, because you don't go and get a cab in the middle of the night in most cities. Okay. Whether it's Central America, South America, or U.S. I wouldn't get a cab in the middle of the night in Chicago, you know, or Detroit or whatever. So you would sleep on the floor. It's a little hard, but you kind of get used to it. And as I say, everybody around you will be snoring away as well. Wait until the morning to go out and catch your cab. I get up in the morning and I go to the food court at the San Pedro Sula Baleada Express. That is the actual place, folks. That's where I would go get my breakfast baleada. By the way, baleadas, incredibly delicious. Let me make a prediction. They are going to become a major popular food in this country. I think within another year or two, if you get a chance to invest in a baleada franchise, I suggest you do it, okay? They're better than any other Hispanic food that we have in this country right now. They are incredibly, one of these times I'm going to get my wife, Angelita, to do a video on how to make them, okay? And I've promised you that for a long time, and honest to God, I will. So in the morning, I finally go out and catch my cab out in front of the airport, okay? Their cabs are little cars, not yellow like they are here. And one interesting thing, I came out one morning and the guy there, they usually have a couple guys who are directing you to which cab you want to go to. Very nice people, and they usually speak English, not a lot, but enough to communicate. And I said, yeah, I wiped the sleep from my eyes, walked out. And so I need a cab. I've been sleeping on the floor because I didn't want to go out. It's in the middle of the night. I was afraid to get a cab. He said, he's very sad because we are good people in this country. We are very friendly people. He's very sad that the politicians have made this country where you have to be afraid because we are not like that. And you know what? He was exactly right. He was exactly right. The Hondurans, the Guatemalans, the Nicaraguans are very friendly and warm people. And my heart went out to him. And so he got me my cab, and I took the cab to now remember, I landed in San Pedro. So I'm telling you all this because you're going to be doing these things, okay? Just so you know what it's like. You'll get a feel of the grit and the grain, okay, of what it's like when you go to these countries. Remember, I landed in San Pedro Sula, but my home was outside of La Ceiba, which is like 4 hours away. So I would go to the Hedman Alice bus station, kind of like a Greyhound, right? But actually very, very nice, okay? And they have bathroom in them, and you go in, sit down, and just relax. That's it. That is really what it was like inside there. And because you've got a 3 to 4 hour trip, and you just lay back and relax. It's very safe, very sound, and beautiful scenery out the window as you make your way through Honduras from San Pedro Sula to where my home was outside of La Ceiba. Now, we would always stop in one of my favorite towns in Honduras. And this is very typical of the towns in Central America. little town called El Progreso. Okay, El Progreso. All right, see that Burger King there? I ate many a Whopper at that Burger King. Okay, during my transit back and forth. Okay, it would stop there. You'd have time to get out, enjoy a few minutes, a little bit of time in El Progreso, a very typical medium-sized city. I'd say probably about 100,000. You might want to take a look there if you're considering moving there and you like a city. You feel like maybe San Pedro Sula with 1 million would be too big. But Tegucigalpa with 3 million, definitely too big. Maybe La Ceiba, you're not into a touristy type thing. Somewhere like El Progreso, very, very nice, very, very nice community. And then we would finally arrive at the Autobus Estacion in La Ceiba, where I would get on the chicken bus. See the chicken buses there? I never saw, I did see one chicken on the chicken bus. One chicken, I saw one goat. But you get on the chicken bus, all of which, and they usually say things on the side of them like Broward County school system. Honest to God, that's, if you want to know where your school bus goes when they retire it from your local school system, Berkeley's county school system, whatever, it's down there. It is down there. And when you go down, you're going to get to ride the little yellow school bus again, which are very crowded, but again, very safe, comfortable, and you just sit back and relax until we would arrive. It would stop at the street leading into my little town of El Pino, quaint little town, 1,000,001 little towns like that, which you might enjoy. You know, some of you are going to say you want to live in a residential resort community like the one where my wife and I just bought a home at La Ceiba Beach Club, gated, guarded, you know, right on the water. But others of you are going to want to live in a little small town with the real people, the real Hondurans or Guatemalans, El Salvadorans, Uruguayans, whatever. And that little picture there was very typical. And then I'd arrive at my first home in Honduras, okay, in Vista Bonita, which, by the way, you can buy a home at Vista Bonita. Just go to vistabonitahonduras.com. That home cost me, I think I paid $20,000, a little bit more now. You could have that home for probably about $25,000, and probably pay 7 or 8 for the land, okay, which would be pretty ample land, by the way. I had a lot of fruit trees, palm trees swaying in the backyard. And so that was my first home. Now, we sold that, and when my wife wanted to move into a little community called El Calan, where we own one of our homes. The other home, as I say, is at La Ceiba Beach Club, where I have, as I've shown you 1,000,001 times, this home, okay, right on the ocean, $30,000. Now I'm selling you. I'll make no bone. Or you could go buy this home. This is our home I just told you about in El Calan. Beautiful home in a wonderful community. The street is paved now, by the way. Beautiful home, okay? 3-bedroom, just gorgeous. Look at it. Isn't that nice? 30,000. And it's in a community. It's in a little community, like a small town America, okay? So there you have it. That was what a day in the life was like for me, and traveling back and forth, okay? And I tell you that because what I just showed you really gives you a flavor of what it's like living down there and traveling down there. It was very, very pleasant. I loved all of those trips. Toward the end, as I got older, sleeping on the floor got a little uncomfortable, but I'd still do it again. It wasn't that bad. Okay, wasn't that bad. Put your head up on your suitcase and just go to sleep. You wake up and get a baleada. So there you have it. That's what the day in the life is, a typical day in the life when you travel down there, but also when you're living down there, being in those little communities, being in those little towns, meeting those kind of people. So there you got it, a day in the life. And that brings us to what increasingly is, a day in the life in this country. And more I'm hearing from you people, I've just had it. Carib Carter, I've just had it. I've had it. Okay. I told you, we now live under a lie-a-day government. Okay. And I mean that, and that is not a political statement, folks. It'd be political if I was making it up and saying, so you make sure and go out and vote. I'm not telling you who to vote for. I was in Washington politics for over 40 years telling people how to vote. At the very top advisor in the U.S. Senate, worked with the Reagan White House, with the Bush other White House, the Director of Communications for Judicial Watch. Some of you know that organization up until like 2 years ago. And I got tired of it. I'm not, because you know what, in all those years, there may have been 5 politicians that I worked around that I didn't feel like I had to go take a bath afterwards. Obviously, Ronald Reagan, Jesse Helms, Armstrong, Colorado, a couple others. Nowadays, Gomer, Jordan, Matt Gaetz, some of those. But by and large, it's a lie a day. I mean, how many times did they tell us Powell, Yellen, and Biden, oh, well, there's no inflation? And we kept saying, yes, there is. When the price of plywood shot up, and this is our Mad Max section. Those of you familiar with Coffee with Carib Carter know every week we do a Mad Max session, not to badmouth America. Nobody's been more patriotic than I have. Okay, after more than 40 years in Washington, loving this country and working for its wonderful, wonderful people, there comes a time when you have to tell the truth. I'm reminded what Harry Truman said. People say, give him hell, Harry. And he said, I don't give them hell. I just tell the truth and they think it's hell. Well, that's where we are now. And it's not political. When you have a government that tells you, oh, there's no inflation. And you say the price of plywood just went up from $9 to over $50 a sheet. And you're telling me there's no inflation. My wife and I, by the way, got steak last weekend at Walmart. The steak that 6 months ago was $17 is now $31. Okay, telling me there's no inflation. The real inflation rate is 13.4%. Okay, that's John Williams. And you know it, folks. You're the ones out there shopping. The politicians can lie through their teeth all they want, but you're the one paying the prices at the grocery store. And now they, again, Yellen, Biden, Powell, no inflation. Where would you get that? Well, how about in the middle of the night last night, the Department of Energy put out a little statement. Oh, by the way, your gas heating bill at home, we expect it to increase. Ready for this? 54% this winter. That ain't inflation. So it's so in the Mad Max report, let me tell you, you're living under a lie a day. Every day there's another one. One more, and then we'll get off Mad Max because we don't have to linger too long on it. The $3.5 trillion welfare bill that Biden, Schumer, and Pelosi are pushing now. And unfortunately, McConnell and then McCarthy in the House they're acting like they're fighting it, but I can tell you, I know these people. I have insiders there behind the scenes. They're saying, okay, we'll get it. Don't worry about it. Maybe a little less, but what in that bill, which is a welfare bill, we've been told now there's a wonderful new child tax credit. Okay, child tax credit. Now there's only one problem with that. Remember I told you the lie a day? 76% of the money in the bill for the child tax credit, I'm saying child tax credit, goes to people who pay no taxes. Excuse me? Yeah, the lie a day. So that's your Mad Max report. It's a reason to get out. You don't have that in these other countries. You do not have this type of thing go straight down the border. Belize, Nicaragua, Honduras, just keep going. El Salvador, Peru, Ecuador, Uruguay, Paraguay, all the way down to for I can't think of the name now, down at the bottom of Argentina, Falkland Islands, that's down there. You don't have it because, again, their government doesn't feel the need to lie that we're going to do all this for you, because they don't intend to do everything for you, but they will let you do it for yourself. One more example, I can't help myself. I wanted to eat last night for my wife's birthday. This is important, folks. It's important to you because you've got to escape this. Please, you've got to escape this. It's not going to get any better. I wish I could tell you it was, but I know politicians. Last night we go out to eat, and they're talking about a different restaurant that we used to go to that closed after 59 years because of the COVID panic by the government, shutting things down the way they did. And one of the guys who knows the owner said, you know what he's selling it for? I said, no. Vito's probably, it's not a big restaurant, probably what, $1 million? He said, no, $2.5 million. I said, I'm going to pay that. And the other guy at the table said, you need to understand something. The liquor license alone for a restaurant now in Pennsylvania is, brace yourself, $600,000. That's graft. That's corruption. That's mafia protection money. Why in the hell should somebody have to pay $600,000 to serve a beer in their restaurant? Out of control, folks. You do not have that in Central and South American countries. Okay, you just don't. So get mad, Max, and make your move. All right. So let's get on back to happy talk now, because I want to talk about Nicaragua. I want to talk to you some about Nicaragua, because in every episode we do the $1,000 listing Caribbean. Okay. Yeah, obviously it's taken after Ryan Searhand's $1 million listing New York. But $1,000 listing Caribbean, because you can find homes. Remember the two I just showed you? My home. 2 $30,000 homes. 3 actually. The one I bought originally for $20. Just that cheap. And look, that home in El Colón, the home on the beach, oceanfront at La Ceiba Beach Club, those are gorgeous homes for $30,000. You can go to somewhere like Grand Pacific in Nicaragua, the most beautiful residential resort community in the Caribbean, as far as I'm concerned. $130,000. You're in an oceanfront community. Okay, gorgeous. It's a Mike Cobb community. You cannot beat Mike Cobb. He has these communities now in Nicaragua and Belize, Nicaragua, Costa Rica. Every one of them beautiful and affordable. Okay, so this is this is where look at these places. And what I do often, and you all know this, what I'm going to do right now with today's $1,000 list in Caribbean, is go to Vivian. Now, I printed out the whole Vivian page this time because people keep telling me, let me get this right here. People keep telling me that you say the word, and look at that, I can't get it up here on the screen where it should be. That's the wrong side of it, so let me get the right side of it. Okay, Vivian, there it is. Vivian.com. Okay. Now you go in there and you see I often tell you this, the little box, you type in your country. See the little tiny box? I don't know why they make it so tiny. Little white box there. See it? You hit the word go then. Okay. I know that's primitive, but I love show and tell. And you come up with the community. I typed in Nicaragua because I wanted to get a good $1,000 listing for you, $1,000 listing Caribbean for you. So I typed in Nicaragua, right? And then you hit the word go. And a lot of listings for great prices all over Nicaragua. And I fell in love with this one that I want to share with you, okay? 6 acres for sale in Santa Teresa Rivas, Nicaragua. Looked it up. Very safe community, very lovely community, okay? He says, fantastic. This is being sold by the owner. Let me preface this. I don't make any money if you buy this property, okay? Your Offshore Club does not make money if you buy one of these properties through Vivian, okay? I just want to make that clear to you. This is a service. This is not a product we're selling, all right? You negotiate with these owners here, okay? Beautiful home, 6 acres, filled with fruit trees. 2 beds, open floor plan, 1 bath, laundry, storage, separate casita with the bath, storage room, hot water tank, rain capture system, and municipal water. So you don't have to worry about running out of water. Wi-Fi, vegetable gardens, incredible views, Look at this. When he says incredible views, he ain't kidding. He ain't kidding. Look at that. These are views of the lake. This is a volcanic mountain in Nicaragua. He says the Rica, Madera, and Concepcion volcanoes. I don't know which one that is. Isn't that beautiful? He says incredible. This is out your front door. This is out your front door of this home. Okay? Lovely. Lovely, spacious home. Okay? This is the listing I'm reading to you right now, folks. Okay? Inside, kitchen, looks like kitchen, dining area there. Okay. Very nice, beautiful woodwork, right? And 2 bedrooms. There's one of them, you know. No, I guess that's not a bedroom, is it? That's the living room, right? I don't know why it has blankets over it, but, you know, you put your own furniture in anyway. But at any rate, that's a great opportunity. Great opportunity, 120,000. That's it. 6 acres of gorgeous property, overlooking a lake, overlooking gorgeous volcanoes, fruit trees, everything you could want there. Casual living, laid back, total 125,000. And, you know, talk to the owner. His name is right there. Negotiate it down. I would offer 100. I'm just telling you what I would do. That's what I do whenever I make an offer. I talk them down. I bought several homes, get ready to try and buy another one in Nicaragua. And this is near a vibrant community. And let me read you one more line here, which to me in a way kind of clinches the sale. Okay, ready for this? As a bonus, you pay full price. Now you're saying you can't negotiate. Yeah, sure. You pay full price. I'll include a lot in Playa Yankee, south of San Juan del Sur. It's one of the most beautiful beaches in all of Central America, all of the Caribbean. San Juan del Sur. Playa, as you know, is that would be Yankee Beach, is what we would say in American. Gorgeous beach. I mean, it is. Matter of fact, I did a Carib Carter minute on it. If you go to my Facebook page, the Carib Carter Facebook page, you'll see I did I put up a great video. Matter of fact, I might even send it out to a lot of you in the mail, because I try and send you a couple emails a week as well. And there's a great video about Playa, San Juan del Sur. And he's going to give you a lot there. He's going to give you a lot on the beach at Playa Yankee, along with 6 acres of land and a home. How can you turn that down? Either as a place to live, as a second home, or an investment. Property prices are going to go up because more and more people are making the move. Okay, so there you go. There's your Carib Carter minute. That's your $1,000 listing, Caribbean. A great deal. A great deal. Go to, again, Vivian. Okay. Type in Nicaragua, leaf through them. You'll find this very listing here. Let me give you the number. You got a pen handy? I'm going to give you the number. You can go to it directly. If you type in that little white box, type in AD 279566. AD 279566, and you're going to go directly to that property. Okay? Or type in Nicaragua, and you'll see it there listed with all the others. And you might find another one you like even more. So do it. Just check it out. Check it out, because I think you're going to be very pleased. And one of the reasons I think you're going to be pleased is the lifestyle in Nicaragua is just good. It's just a good, very open and free and warm and welcoming lifestyle. Remember I told you we were going to do Nicaragua day to day, and I'm going to start doing, when I show you a property, show you also a video about the area itself. Watch this video now. It's short, only about 4 minutes, on Nicaragua. And I have a feeling you may be, after you see this video and when you think about that property, you may be reaching for your passport and heading south. So, Super Producer Brian, let's roll this great Nicaragua video.
Since coming here to Vilcabamba, Ecuador, we have enjoyed it enough to stay. We are renting here in Vilcabamba for a few months, and we decided it would be a great time for us to do a cost of living video for this little town.
Some soft numbers on Ecuador, according to Google, are around $1,600 to $2,400 US a month. For a couple living in a nice home and comfortably in a major area of Ecuador. Now, in our experience, so far, the costs can easily be half of these numbers depending on what kind of lifestyle you really want. Obviously, since we are in a smaller town from the large metropolitan areas, the cost of living drops a bit.
The first few nights we stayed at a hostel and then a local farm. Once we decided to rent a place, it took us only about an hour or two of walking around downtown Vilcabamba before a local stopped and helped us out. He suggested an awesome little 2-bedroom apartment in his building for only $222 USD a month. That is with all utilities included and internet. It also includes a washer and rooftop access with a view to dry your clothes. There's hot water, and all of the furniture that came with the apartment is handmade by the landlord, who also happens to be the local carpenter. For everything else, we find that between $300 to $400 a month for food, toiletries, and fun is really all we need. Maybe $10 to $15 USD a day is enough to eat out at least once, have a drink, and get some groceries for the other meals. For everything else, we find that $300 to $400 a month on food, toiletries, and fun is really all we need. Maybe 10 to 15 USD a day is enough to eat out at least once, have a drink, and get some groceries for your other meals.
So, after adding everything else up for us here in Vilcabamba, Ecuador, $650 or less is what we need to live comfortably in a cozy 2-bedroom apartment. Eating out almost every day, enjoying the scenery, the beautiful walks and the lovely hills, and enjoying our stay. The cost of living here is at least some of the lowest we have ever seen, and we absolutely love it. If you like what you saw, be sure to like and subscribe for more. Bye!
Wow. 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 Now you see why I'm encouraging you to check it out. I'll be honest, my favorite two countries in all of Latin America are right now are Nicaragua and Uruguay. Either one of those. Go to Vivian and type in either one of those and check out the properties. Remember when I told you about in Uruguay out on the peninsula into the water? Condo, gorgeous condo, 2-bedroom for $50,000 a couple months ago. check those out. Check them out. Those, either one of those countries, the quicker you can get there, the better. Okay, you don't have to, don't be the last one off the Titanic, because it ain't a safe thing to do. Okay, don't be the last one out of the neighborhood going bad. It's not a wise thing to do. And these two countries, I think right now, are your very best bet. Okay, not that some of the others aren't great. Quito in Ecuador, colonial Quito, what a wonderful lifestyle. What a wonderful lifestyle. Belize, I sent out an email to a lot of you today. If you're not getting the emails that I send out a couple times a week, make sure to go to offshore.club and sign up for the newsletter, the Offshore Club Gazette, because then you'll get these emails. And I sent out one to you today about Graham Bayman, and with a message directly from Mike Cobb, the developer. Okay, wonderful guy who you may want to check out what he's talking about there and get a great deal from him on that. Okay, because remember, he's the co-chair of your Offshore Club, so don't have a hard bargain with. I'm just telling you, it's a great opportunity right across the board. Your Offshore Club, it brings you a lot of great opportunities. And so take advantage of them. I just urge you to take advantage of them. And that brings me to the final segment here, okay? Because I was thinking, last night I was thinking, why don't people make the moves? How come I go out and buy not just one, but 2 homes, 3 homes actually in Honduras, looking for a place now in Nicaragua. And some people just, have such a problem doing it. And I'm not saying that to be cynical or mean-spirited, but just, and you know what, I realized, and we're in our motivation segment now, okay? And that is, it's the fear of failure, okay? I think that is the biggest restraint any of us have in life, isn't it? The fear of failure. What if it doesn't work out? Whereas I think you should do the kind of future pacing, as Jordan Belfort calls it, to say, well, yeah, but what if it does work out? What if it does work out? How incredible would that be? Instead of having that fear of, well, what if it doesn't work out? But the fear of failure is real, and it keeps us from achieving a lot that we could do in life, okay? And so I want it to help put the fear of failure in perspective. I want to play a quick video for you now. It's only about 2 minutes or so, and it's a interview. It's Kobe Bryant, who great basketball player, great man, responding to a question from an interviewer who says, well, aren't you afraid of failing? Weren't you afraid of failing? Okay, and I want you to listen to his answer. Okay, I want you to listen to his answer, and once you listen to it and you inculcate it, you make it part of your lifestyle and mindset, it's going to change your approach to everything you do in life, from what holds you, from obstacles from stumbling blocks to stepping stones, from obstacles to opportunities. Once you get rid of that fear of failure, listen to Kobe's response when he's asked, aren't you afraid of failure? Let's roll it, Brian.
Yeah, that is a good clip, man.
Oh man, that is a beautiful clip. There you go, folks. Okay. Wow, there you go. You can't say it better than that. And there's a guy, who just refused to accept failure, just refused to even accept it as real. I often laugh because when he talks about when he was 11 years old and he played sandlot ball in Philadelphia, he didn't score 1 point all year long. This is Kobe Bryant. And people say, you didn't score 1. He said, no, I missed every shot I took all year long. But he didn't let the fear of failure prevent him from the realization of success. In his first pro game, he missed 5 air balls. Now, I want you to put that in perspective, folks. We're not talking about he took the shot and it bounced off the rim and bounced away, or it hit the backboard and went in the wrong direction. It never even got to the basket. And they asked him, he was 18 years old, and they said at that point, did you feel like, oh man, I don't know if I can make it here? Did you have the fear of failure? He said, no, I just analyzed how come I missed them. I realized I need to get more strength in my legs. I got the strength, And in his last game, he scored 81 points. Okay. That's where you are, folks. You're going to score big. Overcome the fear of failure. Cast it aside. You know, I've told you before in the Bible, it says, fear not 365 times. And if that's good enough for God, it's good enough for us. So, like I say at the end of every show, let's do this thing.
You talk a lot about dreams and how important they are to you.
Yeah, it is. I think that it's important to have a goal for your life, to have a dream that's bigger than where you are right now. I believe the dream is what keeps you going each day. It's what gives you passion and enthusiasm. And even now, you know, God's blessed us, but you know, I have a dream to be a greater impact to people or to be a better father. You know, you just got to have something in front of you. It seems like today there are a lot of people that have lost their dream, or it's been pushed down. Hey, look, the economy's so bad. People tell me I'm never going to survive, or I'm never going to get to where I'm supposed to be. But I think you have to stir that up. You know, I think it was Paul that told Timothy, stir up the gift that's within you. I like to tell them, you know, people that, you know, with their seeds of greatness on the inside of every person. You can be a great father, a great employee, a great business owner, a great, you know, make a great difference in our world.
Did you ever have a dream for yourself when you thought, oh, I don't think I can do this one?
Well, I think the biggest, well, two of them, Rick. One, when my dad died, I knew I was supposed to step up and pastor the church, but I thought, I don't know how to minister. And I'm more quiet. I hadn't been out in the public eye. I'd been more behind the scenes. So that's one that, you know what, I've seen come to pass. And then I think the other one was the facility that we're in now, the former Compact Center. You know what, we were told that we would never get that facility, that the city, the city owns it, that the city would never lease that to a church. So it was, when we were David and that was Goliath. But, you know, here we are 5 years later and we're there. We saw God bring it to pass.
That seems to be one of your favorite stories, David and Goliath.
It really is, just because, you know what, God uses ordinary people to do extraordinary things. And I think we all look up in life at times and think, well, you know, my challenges are too big, or I've gone as far as I can go in my career. But you know what, David was, I wanted to say just a shepherd boy. He was a shepherd boy, maybe not just, but it didn't look like he had that greatness in him. But you know what, Goliath, the challenge is what made him king. It's what led him to the throne.
When you see somebody who has a dream and they're afraid of following it, what do you tell them?
Well, I tell them that, you know, faith is, you know, I believe one way faith is defined is in risk. Now, I think you got to be smart, and you can't just, I'm not saying quit your job, and you know, but when it's deep down on the inside, at some point you have to say, sink or swim, I'm going to go after this dream. I'm going to take this step of faith. And I just, again, I try to stay balanced, but also don't go your whole life and, you know, end up 80 years old and think, well, wonder what happened, what would have happened if I would have done this. And so I just encourage them, like even when my dad died, I didn't know if I could become a minister. I didn't know if I'd be good up there. But my attitude was, God, I believe this is what you want me to do. I'm going to step out in faith, and if it doesn't work, I'll go back and do something else. But I'm not too proud to try, even if I fail, to say, you know what, I thought I was supposed to do that. I think you have to have that attitude that you know, you take that step of faith, and if it doesn't work out, I'll step back.
And that's a wrap. Thanks for joining us at the Offshore Club. For more information on the Offshore Club or to contact Carib Carter, visit www.offshore.club today. www.offshore.club. That's www.offshore.club. See you next time at the Offshore Club.